Welcome to the Power of Lifting podcast. I'm EricCafferty, owner of the Mecca Gym. I am a strength and conditioning coach and a contest prep specialist. The focus of this podcast is to dive into the mindset and the drive of people who have done incredible things with their lives.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
We hope everyone had a good one. Because currently...
By the time this comes out, Christmas will have happened.
Right. But right now, we're just ecstatic for it.
We are pretty excited. So we can divulge gifts that people got because they won't find out until Tuesday that we divulge that information.
That's very true. Very true.
Yep. It's, gift giving is, 'tis the season, right?
Yes.
So what did the missus request for this year, Hunter?
Well, the missus is an extremely good gift giver.
Oh.
I'm talking top notch. Nobody compares, in my opinion. So on the flip side,
You have to say that.
I'm trash.
Are you?
I'm not great.
I don't believe
I'm not
that
great.
about
So
you.
I try really hard each year. She sends me stuff throughout the year, so I have to get like a list going. You know.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got her a few good things. And so,
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, she's a crafty person, so there's a hint that we got her something real nice about that. So
Yeah. Yeah. No new cars this year, huh?
no new cars this year. Maybe next.
I want to do that one day just because,
Right,
like,
just a huge bow on
the
top
massive bow.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, who doesn't want to do that, right?
No. Yeah, right.
I think it's just awesome. Next time we're due for a new car, it's going to have to be Christmas time.
of it. Yep. With the
And
huge bow.
With the huge bow.
Right.
Ever since the commercials came out about that.
And
it's
we
just
should
been-
make our own just dramatic, emotional commercial.
Oh, absolutely.
Just parody the heck out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We should. Mecca commercial.
Mecca commercial, right? Giving away cars.
Yeah, for now, no cars this year.
No cars this year.
I think I used to dislike the holidays, but having kids has brought me back around to the non-Grinch Christmas spirit. My wife actually used to call me the Grinch because I'm like, the holidays, yuck. She's like, how can you not like the holidays?
Yeah, what's the reason? Just wasn't clicking with me.
I don't know. I just I think part of it could be like my insecurity of not being a great gift giver. Like, I'm such a practical person that, like, thinking outside of the box for gifts for people can be difficult.
Sure.
You know, especially for people that, you know, let's be honest, everybody has everything they need in this day and age.
100%.
Right.
Well, especially around here.
Not everybody. Okay, I'm talking like family members.
Of course, right.
So I think I would rather give gifts to, you know, people in need because you can help them, like, give them things that are actually going to improve quality of life, rather than just spoil your kids and or family members with garbage that they don't really need.
Right. That could hit or miss, and a lot of times miss. So it's just anyway.
Right. Anyway.
I see what you're doing.
But I have started to embrace the Christmas spirit.
Very good. Your heart has grown 3 times larger.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Dinner with myself, I can't cancel.
Cancel that again.
Yeah.
My schedule wouldn't allow it.
Yes, my schedule. So yes, I do get my fair share of holiday films on the stage. But one thing, to get on topic of this podcast, one thing I do really appreciate about the holidays is food.
Oh, of course.
It's great.
What a phenomenal topic.
Oh, man. So we're talking Christmas food, Thanksgiving food, really any holiday and or event. There's always, you know, food. That's what brings us together, right?
Right. It's the universal language.
Yeah, you just don't get invited to a party and I mean, the first thing you ask is, all right, what are they having for food?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm not going.
And then, if you want people there, you're expressing the fact that there will be food.
Right. Yeah. Come to my party. There will be food. That's how you entice people to come. I mean, let's be honest.
Yep.
But I feel like a lot of people, especially in the bodybuilding and or fitness world, I know for my clients, there's always that conversation like, what do I do?
Right.
You know, when it comes to Christmas.
Because you want to enjoy it, but you also don't want to butcher yourself.
Exactly. You don't want to ruin everything. And I think a lot of people are under the impression that, like, everything's gonna go to crap if I eat one, treat and this, that, and the other thing. So yeah, I kind of want to clear the air a little bit when it comes to responsible ways to make it through the holiday.
Right.
And of course, this really comes down to what stage of the game you're in when it comes to like your fitness journey and or your goals, and what stage of the plan you're in. If you're somebody that's in a, say an off season, you're not even worried about it.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Or you shouldn't really.
Yeah, no. I mean, everybody should be keeping tabs of their food in one way, shape, or form, right?
That never changes.
Yeah, that never changes. You gotta, some way you have to keep tabs on what you're eating, whether you're, doing some sort of consistent meal plan, tracking macros. You want to do something that's keeping tabs on your food, and that's just for health and optimal performance.
Right.
You don't have to be like to the gram, but you also don't want to be too far off. So it's about finding balance and not spending too much time tracking. So that's why a lot of people, like such as myself, like I eat similar things day to day, so that I know I'm to my rough, macronutrient breakdown and or calorie profile. And then, I'll save a little bit of room for some extra stuff if I'm feeling froggy, right?
Yes, right.
But I think this is speaking a little bit more to people who are in a caloric deficit, trying to make healthy lifestyle changes. Say you're a person that is working with a coach or a trainer that your goal and intent behind working with this trainer is because you want to lose body fat, you want to get healthy,
Right.
You want to improve all of your health markers, your blood work, that sort of a thing, right? You want to just become a better version of you, and to do that you may need to lose some pounds on the scale and or gain some muscle and lose body fat, optimize your body composition, right?
Right.
That's like a ton of people obviously come to us for optimizing their body composition, just building healthy habits and things like that.
Right. Which would make sense why you would be worried. And I don't want to lose this. So
there's a lot of cookies floating around this time of year.
Yes.
There's cake balls, there's cookies, there's fudge, there's trail mix.
Jeepers.
It's deadly. It's just flowing.
Yep, it is.
Gifts are being given.
Yep.
And everybody likes to give their trainer their favorite treat to try and fatten the trainer up a little bit for slaughter. Right.
That's right. No. It's funny because it's true, right?
It's true, yeah. In all seriousness, and I love the cookies, don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But, one must have balance. So anyway, back on topic, how do you approach the holidays, and how do you fit some of these things in? How do you get through the holidays in a less stressed situation? And this is pertaining to, to people that are wanting to still enjoy the holiday festivities, but they don't want to ruin their progress, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Step one is, you got to go into it with a good, healthy mindset, and what you shouldn't do is have a negative attitude towards family gatherings and things like that, just because there's other people there that may not have the same, goals or beliefs or, journey as you, right?
Right.
So I think that's a pretty common thing for people to be like, oh, these people are so inconsiderate or whatever, because they're drinking and eating a bunch of junk and
telling me
and
I should eat all this
yeah
stuff.
Right.
Right.
It's not something I want to do, but you do want to do it, right?
Right.
But you don't want to do it. So the first thing is going into it with the right mindset and just knowing that, hey, it's our job to set, a good example of living a healthy lifestyle and having healthy habits to the people that we're around. So if you're on a journey to, change your lifestyle and, make healthy choices, and you're trying to lose some body weight, then, you know, you can lead by example and not drink all of the alcohol at the party. Maybe, you know, practice some moderation,
Yes.
right? And maybe have a drink or two and then call it a day with that, and not eat all of the cookies. Maybe taste, you know, some of the cookies, or have a half a cookie or whatever. But you know, just going into it with a healthy mindset, that's number one. Number two is having a plan, right? Depending upon the situation, you know. So if you're going to a Christmas dinner, and this applies to Thanksgiving too a lot, this is a conversation that I am constantly having with people. If they're really trying to stick to a caloric deficit and they want to make it through, you know, the holidays without having negative repercussions, but they still want to participate, it's you know, it's okay to not necessarily track if you plan accordingly. So if you're talking about, you know, you have one day that's going to be difficult because you have party to go to and things like that, say Thanksgiving or Christmas, right? Earlier in the day, you don't want to necessarily fast all day, because then you might be starving when it comes time to go to the party.
Then you'll be mentally weaker.
And then exactly, you're going to be like really miserable and thinking about food a lot when you go into it. So it could set you up for failure.
Interesting.
Instead, I like to have people consume protein, you know, ahead of time in the day, especially because, you know, at a Christmas dinner, you're not going to eat your entire day's worth of protein in that one meal.
Right.
Even if you're trying to conserve calories a little bit, you still should be trying to hit your protein goal. So in that case, you would wake up and have something like egg whites for breakfast, or a lower in dietary fat meal, lower in carbs, lower in fats meal, of, you know, protein. And then same thing for like a lunch, for example. So you would have, you know, maybe some meat and, you know, a vegetable for lunch, something like that.
Yes.
That way, when you get to, you know, the holiday dinner, or, you know, Thanksgiving dinner, whatever you want to call it, you know, aren't starving. You've had food during the day, and you don't have to completely just pig out on protein to get enough protein in for the day. You can be a little bit more relaxed about your food choices, and, you know, you can have things like the potatoes and the gravy and things like that. So that's kind of my strategy going into it. Number one, you got a plan based off your current macros, getting in some protein earlier in the day, and not going to the dinner when already you're very, very hungry. The next step is planning, okay, how are you going to structure your meals, or your meal, and the courses of the meal for that dinner itself, right? So I think we talked a little bit about this with Nick when he was on, and he is a big proponent of fasting, and how when he's doing a one meal a day, he kind of stacks food in a particular order. Well, I like to do a similar thing when I'm at a holiday dinner, and this is what I recommend to my clients. So, you know, for starters, you know, usually you have like appetizers and things like that. I would go with, you know, the protein style appetizers, and or vegetable low carb appetizers first, right? And then moving on, you could also start with salad, right? Doing a salad in order to get some volume in your stomach, and fill your stomach with the protein and the fibrous vegetables. You know, try and not do a lot of dressing, or do a lower calorie dressing if it's an option. If not, then just very sparingly do the dressing, and or, you know,
shimmy it around,
dip the fork in there. Do, you know, use all the tricks. You can do the dip the fork in the dressing thing. You can just do it light, you know, with the salad or the veggies. You know, I've always got elk sausage for Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day, so I'm like, I'll snack on that prior. A little higher in fat, but still good protein.
Yes, great protein.
So you're starting off with protein only and fibrous veggies only appetizer.
This is so fun. It's a game plan to eating.
Yeah, it is like a game plan of eating. And, the thing is, like, that usually fits the bill. Salad is usually, first.
Right.
You have a salad course, right? So, yeah, fill up on that protein, fill up on that salad.
Nice.
The next thing I would go towards is your protein portion, right? So whether you're having ham, turkey, I'm a big prime rib guy.
Same.
On Christmas.
Very nice. I like that a lot.
I'm a big red meat proponent. Right? Love the beef.
Yep.
Grass fed.
Doesn't get much better, if
delicious.
at all better.
So even this year I did a tri-tip for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which was phenomenal, a little non-conventional, but yeah. So anyway, your meat portion would go next.
Okay.
And you're getting, typically a large portion of meat. So if you've already had, a few bites of, say, a warm-up sausage, so to speak, appetizer type sausage, right?
Yep.
And you've already had some, veggies, and you've already had a decent-sized salad. And then you put, say, a piece of prime rib on top of that.
Yes.
You're probably sitting pretty good in terms of like your level of, satiety, right? You're full, right? You're at least not empty.
Right.
And then, you select, normal portions and or smaller portions of whatever side dishes you want and start filtering those in.
Got it.
So, for me, that's going to be grandma's rolls 10 out of 10 times.
Amen.
For sure.
Holy cow.
I'm very picky about where I expend my calories.
Of course.
Because they're limited, right?
Yes.
Grandma's rolls are going in after the meat.
Good, nice.
Yeah.
So good.
That's when you eat the things like, the stuffing, the sweet potato casserole, the potatoes and gravy and, all that goodness.
Yep.
That's what comes after the meat.
Okay.
And then you have a little sliver of dessert. And at that point in time, you're probably stuffed.
Right.
Right.
So all you can afford is a sliver.
That's all you can afford. It's all the space you've got.
Right.
But, the idea is if you're being conscious each step of the way, if you're looking at all the veggies and the meat you have for an appetizer, say you get 15 to 20 grams of fat of that, so very likely if you're doing a little dressing and stuff.
For sure.
Maybe 10 to 15 carbs, if you're just grazing on some fibrous veggies. And then, maybe 10 or 15 carbs from a salad, right? You're going into your meat portion with you've only had, say anywhere from 15 to 40 carbs,
right?
And a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, right? So then you eat that meat, and if you look at the numbers, based off portion size, it's really not bad if you've mainly had protein earlier in the day.
Yeah, right. Just like we talked about them.
Yeah, and you don't feel like you've had to restrict much, right?
Yes.
The only time that this format doesn't really work out too well is when you are on a super strict contest prep.
Sure.
But there's not any shows until March, probably at earliest.
Yeah, I was wondering if January and February, if anyone had the bold idea to do shows at that point.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a good idea. No, I mean there was Nationals was last weekend.
Right.
NPC Nationals was the weekend
after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas.
Yeah. So I mean, they in years past have done that at the end of November prior to Thanksgiving, which I think is a little bit better to, that way people are taken off, from Thanksgiving until, basically shows don't start up again until the end of March.
Right.
So. Which I don't think many people want to compete in that time frame anyway, But anyway, there's not really a lot of people that need to like hardcore diet through the holidays and try and track every little thing.
Right.
There is a case to be made for, we do the holiday hoist that's, the beginning of December. So if you're concerned about making weight, you may not want to pig out on Thanksgiving. Right. But in general, eating in this format that I talked about will kind of limit the calories that you're taking in and, make for definitely a successful holiday.
For sure. Obviously I wouldn't, but the whole idea of the game plan of eating through that, I just wouldn't have even thought about that.
Yeah. The game plan of eating is essential. So the day of, going through with protein, basically only breakfast and lunch, and then essentially saving all of your carbs and fats for that one meal.
That, but even just like the appetizers going into the meat portion, going into the other stuff, then the sliver of dessert, it's just like, yes, this man knows what he's talking about.
It's all to fill you up.
Right.
To
get full.
Yeah, and to allow you to have a little bit of the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which, you don't need to completely avoid. It's just getting out of the habit of, hey, we shouldn't be drinking beer every night of the week. You know what I mean?
Right.
We shouldn't be eating, that trail mix that Maggie got me all the time. That stuff should not be in the house.
Yes.
There's just certain things that should not be in your house.
Can't allow it in.
You know what I mean?
Once it's in the gate, it's over.
I mean, it's just game over. There cannot be crumble cookies in my house at all times,
No.
And that's not that, I'm on a hardcore diet or anything. It's just
the way
that stuff is a very once in a while type of situation. People need to understand that. There's a reason why we have, a bit of a crisis going on in this country. And it is the fact that people do not eat well consistently.
Right.
That is 100% the problem. There's a lot of talk of, especially since, the good old vaccine mandates, there's a lot of talk of, people being forced into this and that. And, it's a bit of a problem, especially, we're getting into, some pre-existing problems such as the issue with healthcare and insurance and
huge problems,
you name it. So what is an underlying solution to those things? Making the population healthier. Right. Nobody's talking about that.
Not at all. It's
everybody's pushing getting a vaccine and
developing into pills at this point.
Yeah, and yet there's been no talk of avoiding McDonald's, right? Yep. There's been no talk of, maybe you should focus on your health and, exercise regularly and things like that. So I do have, a lot to say about that sort of thing. But in terms of the holiday season and finding balance, here's the thing. People shouldn't be scared of going into the holidays because of, they're going to have a lot of willpower and make smart choices. So, speaking of developing healthy habits over time, if you look at it, that one day of eating some junk even, let's say hypothetically speaking, you kind of blew it on Christmas, right?
Right.
Happens to the best of us. You started eating, you went in with good intentions, you started with your veggies and salad, you had your turkey, and then you're like, you know what? I'm going to eat a lot of potatoes.
Yeah, that whole bowl will be mine, thank you.
Yep. And, it happens, right? It happens. So say you go 2,000 calories overboard what maintenance is at that meal, okay? Hypothetically speaking. Well, if you only went over 2,000 calories on one day, that's not even enough to gain a pound of body fat, right? Now, if you were in a caloric deficit at the time, it would definitely be enough to erase the deficit. So if you have a say 500 calorie deficit a day, which is about enough to lose a pound of body fat a week.
Okay.
Then you had 2,000 calories over your maintenance, right? Say your maintenance calories, we're just going to go easy numbers here.
Yep.
Your maintenance calorie burn, right? So the amount of calories you burn in a day total is 2,000. And you're in a 500 calorie deficit, so you're eating 1,500 calories consistently. On Christmas Day, you ate 4,000 calories. Okay. Outside of, say, the water retention you would get from the excess sodium and the digestive distress you may or may not undergo from eating foods higher in fat, foods that you don't normally eat.
Very plausible.
Very plausible. Your net impact is you would delete 4 days worth of progress, and it would probably take you, half a week to really get back on the horse.
Okay.
Right? You may gain several pounds on the scale, but you will not gain several pounds of body fat. You may gain a little more than a half pound of body fat.
Sure.
But it will not be the 5 pounds that you put on in a day from that one meal.
Right.
That is from, other fluid retention from other things, digestive, backing up, so to speak.
Yes.
And just an overall, higher volume of food. You may get inflamed. You probably sleep worse because you ate like crap.
Sure.
Like, there's a lot of things that have an effect on that next day weight gain. But you're only deleting a few days of progress. So assuming that's the only day that you had a little whoops, it's really not that big of a deal. That's not gonna blow the doors off the progress. You know what I mean? What is a problem is if you are inconsistent the other 6 days that week.
Okay.
That's the big problem.
Right.
Because people are, consistently inconsistent. That is the problem.
Yep.
That one day isn't going to trash you. You got to remember that. So even if you, really went ham for a day, unless you just ate like a complete turd, it's not going to ruin it for you.
Right on.
Right?
There you go. So enjoy life, and that's something that you explain all the time.
Enjoy life and think about things before you do them.
Right.
Is the food that you're eating going to help you or hurt you towards your goals? That's what I always think. Like, is this going to help me? No. Is it going to hurt me? No. Right? Well, okay, we got a choice to make here.
Right.
Is it going to help me? Yes. Okay, let's do this.
Let's do that one. Right.
So anyway, it comes down to making choices, and I'm all for eating a little bit at the holidays. And what I do recommend to most of my clients, I've sent a lot of messages out so far this week that are like, hey, do the protein in the morning, do the protein at noon, or, I'll tell people you don't necessarily need to track spot on that one meal, but go in with a game plan and kind of organize your macronutrients in order to, set yourself up to have an untracked meal, and then just be responsible, right? If you just don't overeat, you'll probably be okay, right? Just don't overeat. That's the thing. Smaller portions. If you've got a lot of food choices, either eat fewer of the choices or just eat smaller portions of each choice, so that you're not stuffed full. If you leave the day never having made yourself sick from eating too much, then you probably did not overeat calories by that much. Right. And even if you go a little bit over for one day, not the end of the world. So this is, like I said, going to come out the day a few days after Christmas. So
people are still going to be partying through the new year, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it is a little bit late. But the thing is, don't make a habit of just making unhealthy choices. That's the bottom line.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I like it. Well, I've got a list here, Eric, of the top 15 treats, foods of the holidays.
Oh dear.
And we're going to talk about them.
Let's do it.
We'll go 15. Number 15 is canned cranberry sauce. Are you into the cranberry sauce?
That's a nay.
It's a nay as well.
Nay.
It's always there, and I guess some people like it, but I don't know.
That's not a staple for me.
Not a staple.
Yeah, cranberry sauce can go away as far as I'm concerned.
M&M's meant for gingerbread houses. That is on the list.
I'm not a huge M&M guy. The only time I do eat M&M's is when it's in my trail mix.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I'm hunting.
Right.
Only time I eat M&M's. I'm going to be totally honest.
They probably taste pretty good up on the mountain.
Everything tastes better at 10,000 feet.
Right.
Yep.
13 is, of course, dinner rolls.
That's a must.
That's a must. I'm not agreeing with the 13. Like that should be a top 5.
Yeah, I think whoever voted 13 on that does not have my grandma's rolls.
It does not. No, clearly does not.
Clearly does not. And they've never been to Texas Roadhouse.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I definitely know what you mean. Yeah. Phenomenal stuff. Then we got the green bean casserole. I think I know your opinion on the green bean casserole.
Oh, dude, we've talked about this. That's a barf city, man. It literally looks like somebody puked. I just ruined green bean casserole for everybody that listened to this.
You kind of did.
But next time you look at green bean casserole,
just look at it
and tell me what that looks like. It's vomit. Yeah.
Love that. And next, I think I know your opinion on this one too. This says Brie, so Brie cheese with literally anything.
Literally anything. So good buddy of mine and I talked about this, and it is burgers and elk burgers with exotic cheeses on it. Oh. I wouldn't call Brie exotic, but it's definitely not a cheese that is common for burgers.
Right.
And dude, let me tell you, stuffing a burger with cheese and or using like Gouda or Brie or something for on top of a burger is next level. So good.
I haven't thought about putting Brie on top of that.
Brie with elk sausage and some form of, you know what? I actually love Brie elk sausage and like those club crackers.
Oh yeah.
Like they're just cheap, run of the mill, white bread cracker.
Yeah.
Just a buttery cracker.
It's buttery.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Sounds incredible. Well, the Flex and Flava Thanksgiving show.
Oh yeah.
Last year, I believe. Yeah,
it was. She did Brie. We did sugar-free jelly, I believe,
on a flat pretzel. I thought it was.
Yeah. It was on one of the pretzel chip things.
Yeah.
Which the pretzel chip deal, no fat, just few carbs for one of those, if that, couple carbs. The Brie, which is going to have some protein and fat, of course, and then sugar-free jam or whatever. I mean,
jams and jellies, man.
Dude, it's like each one of those is probably like something like 5 carbs or less.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact.
And like, a few grams of fat, probably, depending on how egregious you get with the cheese.
Just Brie the heck out of it.
And then, it's like, dude, that's a no-brainer. You could have a few of those for your appetizers, man.
There you go. Pretty good. Check that on the YouTube channel. Number 9 is pheasant. You've had pheasant?
I do enjoy a good pheasant. I'm mixed reviews. I'm not the biggest bird hunter, truth be told.
Yeah. I
like it. It's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, anything to get outside, to be honest. But I don't know, dude. It seems like a lot of work for
not much.
Yeah. Right. Like, when you shoot an elk, you're talking about at least a couple 100 pounds of meat. You know what I mean? At least.
Right.
You shoot a middle of the road sized cow, you're probably 150 to 200 pounds of meat.
Still quite a bit of meat.
Which is still quite a bit, know, and that's on a skinny pack out.
Right.
And then, if you shoot a big bull, and you're able to get all of the rib meat and all that jazz, I mean, you're looking at a, several 100-pound situation,
worth going for that.
Yeah, granted, that's it's a lot of work, but you start talking about bird hunting and you're like, that's more of like casual, like went out on a Saturday, walked through the hills, took the dog out, but you smoke a few birds and it's just I don't know,
not your cup of tea.
It's not as appealing. I'll do it.
Sure.
I'll do it.
I mean,
but
shooting a gun.
Yeah, really you're getting some nature. I'm all about anything that gets me outside,
right?
To be honest. But yeah, bird hunting is just not my jam. Those guys that are super into waterfowl and duck and all that, it's like, yeah, that's cool. Do your thing, but
Right.
I'm not gonna be getting up early in the morning on the weekends for that.
That's fair. That's fair. Number 8, pecan pie.
So my mom and my grandma make it to die for pecan pie.
Nice.
But it's not top of my list.
Oh, okay.
Not top of my list.
I can't even have it.
Now, what I will say is, shameless plug, Magnolias in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, shout out.
Shout out. Probably, so I had a slice of pecan pie there, and it was, without question, one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life.
Oh, overall?
Overall.
Holy cow.
Yeah, but that's not normal.
Right.
I was in shock.
Yeah.
Some kids these days would call it shook.
Yeah, I was shook.
I was shook. Kalia, Ronnie, and Kylie.
Okay, over for the show.
Know what's up?
Holy cow.
We were on a post show food extravaganza.
Yes.
When we just, honestly, it wasn't like a big deal or anything. We just wanted to all go share a nice meal out. And they were great company. And that was one of the best meals I've had. Holy cow.
South Carolina.
Charleston is, if you're listening to this and you haven't been there, I had no idea.
Right.
But phenomenal food. Phenomenal food.
Yeah. Oh, geez, we're going to have to take a flight across the country.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. You're like on the ocean. The weather's nice.
Yeah.
I'm actually probably going to... I'm like 98% sure I'm going to be there for Junior USA's again this year. So
nice.
Yeah, we'll have a crew trying to get pro cards there this year. So
there we go.
Which I'm stoked about because Coach is definitely down for the post-show eating festivities.
Right.
Hashtag bulking season.
Season.
Let's go.
Right.
But yeah, that pecan pie was something of legend. That's
good. It's in the history books.
So here's the deal. I can describe it to you. It was...
Please do.
Yeah. So normally with the pecan pie, they're like halved or like quartered pecans on the top, you know? And then you basically are pouring this like gelatinous kind of mixture that kind of, it's like the meat of the pie, so to speak.
Yep.
Their nuts were chopped up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it was almost like caramely.
Oh, jeez.
And the crust, anyway, they were homemade. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'll stop there.
Just
Magnolias in Charleston, South Carolina.
You'll be back, I'm sure.
I will be back for sure. Probably yearly from here on out.
It's an annual deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if someone's competing, I'm going.
Yeah, we're gonna coincidentally, the Mecca will always have athletes in Junior USA's now because of that.
Right.
It's all about the destination.
Yeah.
P.S. Rumor on the street is USA's, so not Junior USA's. That's still in Charleston. USA's is supposed to be in Reno this year.
Really?
Ew.
Interesting.
Yeah. Biggest little city in the world.
I mean, it's something.
Yeah, they did it in Phoenix last year, which I would by far prefer. But anyway.
Absolutely. Interesting.
I digress.
Okay. There we go. Reno's trying to get their taste of the glory.
Ugh.
Next is roast beef.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't know. I'm not like a huge roast beef fan, but it's meat, so I'll eat it.
That's right. Very good. Number 6 is good old fudge.
Ooh, danger.
Danger.
You know what? If there's one thing that I just take a bite of and I feel like I'm going to go into a diabetic coma, it's probably fudge. Okay. It's just so dense.
It's insane.
It's so rich and dense. You take one bite and you're just like, I'm going to take a nap now.
You got to.
Yeah.
Your brain kind of, something's like, kind of sizzles.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I feel like my pancreas is like, help!
No.
Help!
Right.
But yeah, no, I love me some fudge. Different varieties of fudge as well.
Absolutely.
You know, mint, peanut butter, which you can't have. But
no, but I hear it's phenomenal.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Yep.
Mint. I really dig the mint fudges. That's for sure. Number 5, gravy. Just that's it. Gravy
by itself.
By itself.
You know, depends on the gravy. It's got to be salty a little bit. It's really good when made from, the drippings of the meat.
Yep.
Love that. Yeah, I'm a fan of gravy. I like gravy just for the fact that it's moist. Moist.
Moist.
But yeah, I'm usually I'm not a big gravy guy just because
Are you a big sauce guy? Do you do sauces?
Yeah. I don't know. I prefer to be able to eat my food without sauce or gravy, just because it's going to add that liquid calories. That's a big way you can avoid calories at just going out to eat or holidays. I mean, just don't drink your calories or add liquid calories.
Right.
So I don't usually go huge on the gravy, but if I'm eating some white meat turkey, I might spritzer a little bit on there just for a little bit of moistness. Right. But call me crazy, I'm not really a big mashed potatoes type of guy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I like them.
Sure.
I like them, but if we're talking like a holiday dinner and I've got a choice, like my stepmom's pumpkin dump cake, which is like just carb and fat galore.
Yes.
Versus like mashed potatoes and gravy.
That's fair.
I'm gonna pumpkin dump cake the heck out of that. You know what I mean? Mashed potatoes can just, you can have
take a back seat, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
You could
take
have
a back seat. Yeah, I'll just be eating I would eat just straight white meat turkey with nothing on it, just a plate of it for dinner if it meant that I got a good helping of pumpkin dump cake.
Gosh, dang, that sounds incredible.
Oh man.
Number 4, liquid calories, hot cocoa.
Yeah, I'd rather coffee it. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just not later in the day. No caffeine past noon, friends.
It's terrifying.
Really, within 6 to 8 hours of bedtime, you shouldn't be taking caffeine. So if that's you, stop it. You're ruining your REM.
There we go. Number 3 and number 2, I'm just going to go together. It's roasted potatoes for 3, mashed potatoes for 2. So we kind of already talked about that.
We've talked about that. Not a priority on the list for me. I'm going to be honest.
That's
because I mean, dude, potatoes are great. I love potatoes, but here's the thing. I can eat potatoes whenever I want.
That is completely fair.
I eat potatoes all the time.
You're right.
Like, it is a regular, and it should be. Potatoes are fantastically nutritious, and you should eat them on a regular basis.
Yes.
I love red potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. I love Idaho potatoes, russet potatoes. I mean, if it's a potato, I like it. Yes. But it's not like special. So if I have other options for carbs,
like the pumpkin dump cake,
it's not going to be potato time. Potato time is like I'm carb loading for going hunting or hiking or something. I'm like, but Christmas, I'm like, just trying to not completely overeat. So I'm not going to pile potatoes on top of pumpkin dump cake. Get out of here.
Right. Right. I get you. I'm thinking it through.
It's just being, you got to be, got to think about these things.
So I want to know your number 1 holiday treat before I say
treat or food.
So the thing is, this list was filled with treats and foods.
So my number 1, oh man, dude, I gotta say prime rib.
There we go.
I gotta say prime rib.
I assumed. Gotta be.
If we're talking treat, I think it's got to be pumpkin dump cake. It's got to be pumpkin dump cake for dessert city. And I say that because that's not a dessert that you have at like other times of the year.
No, that's
typically
a special dessert.
So I'd say that's kind of my holiday treat choice. If we're talking just an anytime favorite dessert, Sprinkles red velvet cupcakes is really high on the list. Really high on the list. My mom's cinnamon bundt cake is like drugs. It's so good. And then I am a cheesecake fan, but here's the deal. When I eat cheesecake, I get stuffy. I have like a very bad response to when I eat cheesecake. It's
really?
It's like a histamine type.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like the combination of the amount of sugar and heavy cream and dairy.
Yep.
Like, and I can do dairy. Like, dairy doesn't bug me typically, but the amount of just the combo and cheesecake, it just wrecks me.
Oh no, that's so
like
interesting.
I literally can't breathe.
Really?
Yeah, like it's bad. So I've kind of gravitated away from cheesecake for that reason. It kind of jacks me up.
That's fair. I mean,
I'm like 1 sprinkles red velvet cupcake is just right. It's delicious, but it's not too many calories or too much sugar that I like want to die.
Right.
Yeah, anyway.
Good deal. Well, this list has peppermint bark
as number 1.
As numero uno. And so, I mean, I'm not a fan.
So we can basically just throw that list in the dumpster.
This list is trash. I went in I went in blind, and I regret my decision.
Oh, peppermint bark. I don't know. I'd want to hear some of the listeners' feedback on.
I feel like it's a torn thing, peppermint bark.
I don't know.
Would also like to hear what your favorite holiday treats are, for sure, because who doesn't like to hear about that stuff?
Hunter, what's your number 1 holiday treat?
Holiday treat?
Treat.
I'm an extremely classic pumpkin pie man.
Are you?
Yeah.
Atta guy.
I grew up, instead of birthday cakes, because birthday's December.
Ah, yeah.
So it's that time of year. So I would make sure my mom would make pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving. Instead of a cake, I would have pumpkin pie for my birthday.
Oh.
And then there would need to be another pumpkin pie for Christmas.
So your trifecta of pumpkin pies.
Too much pumpkin pie. Too much pumpkin pie. But yeah, that would be my favorite treat. And then when it would come to the food, it'd have to be right there with you, between like a prime rib or just beef, some sort of beef.
Yeah, like brisket, tri-tip, something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I am
I do like ham.
I'm torn on ham.
It
I
depends
really
on the
am.
ham.
It does depend on the ham. A lot of times it's just so salty.
Right.
So, and I eat a lot of salt. So, frame of reference here, like I'm like a 6 to 8 gram of salt guy a day consistently. Like I salt the bejesus out of my food.
Yes, I can attest to that.
So, which, I mean, there's people that eat more than 6 to 8 grams of salt, but like that's a decent amount, I'd say. I'm probably over that sometimes, but consistently, right?
Right.
So, layman's terms, that's, 6 to 8,000 milligrams per, 1,000 milligrams is a gram, right?
Yeah.
Which is good. It's healthy, and there's a lot of misinformation out there about sodium and what it does, and healthy people should be intaking a decent amount of sodium. You should not try and limit sodium in your diet necessarily. What I will say is you should try and consume a consistent amount of sodium each day.
Okay.
So if you're typically salting your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, salt your breakfast, lunch, and dinner about the same every day.
Okay.
But even still, being a high salt guy, I mean, dude, that ham, oh my gosh. Sometimes I feel like there's legit, like I eat it and I'm instantly super thirsty.
Right.
Which we've all had that feeling before, but for that to happen, it's got to be just laced for me. Right. And it's like uncomfortable, because then I just want to drink water and I don't want to eat anymore.
Right.
Just like, this is just insane. Now I'm just super thirsty. And I hate being thirsty. There is nothing worse. I could starve forever. Yeah. And it's not as miserable as like an hour of thirst. It's so bad. Back in the day, bodybuilding, this guy that was coaching me had me basically stop drinking water from Friday afternoon until Sunday or Saturday evening after the show's over. Dude, that was dude, my mouth is getting dry just thinking about it. Yeah, it was the worst experience ever. I'm like, how do people do this? Right. This is stupid. Like, if this is what it takes, I'm not into it. Not straight up, not willing to dehydrate myself like that. Right. Same thing with making weight for powerlifting meets. I've had I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but I will not mention names and say there was a particular individual that I coach that really struggled staying on his diet. Consequently, we would have to manipulate water quite a bit in order to get him to make weight.
Interesting.
Because I've never had somebody miss weight, and I will never have somebody miss weight.
Right.
Unfortunately for them, but it's like, you know, you got to drop 8 to 10 pounds of water overnight, essentially. There is nothing in this world that is more miserable than that. I will tell you for certain.
Yep.
It is terrible. And yeah, I mean, this guy, I mean, you know, bless his heart, he did it multiple times, but dude,
amazing.
Holy cow. Yeah. What a bad deal trying to make weight like that. Oh,
that just reminds me, just like the high school wrestling team and like
just
they were going
silly, just silly stuff. Yeah, they, you know, as a high school kid, like spitting in a cup, sweating in a sauna. It's like, dude, you know, you want to be smart and get your body fat levels down to a point to where you don't have to do anything nuts. You can do a little electrolyte manipulation, maybe a little water load, whatever.
Right.
And be, you know, smooth sailing into making weight. But tell you what, I'm not a ham guy that's that salty.
Right. That's fair. 100% fair.
But yeah. Anyway, I digress.
That's right.
We could talk holiday food for forever.
We really could. I mean, there's lists, there's pictures. I mean, I'm starving right now. There we go.
I just, truth be told, I just ate quite a bit of the trail. It's not trail mix. What is it? It's like Muddy Buddies. It's like
the s'mores things.
Yeah, it's like golden grams.
Yes.
And marshmallows with chocolate on it.
Yep.
That Maggie gave me a bag of. I tell you what,
that
stuff is dangerous.
Yeah, you gave me a bite of that
dangerous. I was giving it out to everybody that is not in a calorie deficit right now to get it away from me. It's hard to stop once you start, especially when you're in bulking season and there's no reason to really stop.
Exactly. It's like, I'm fine. I'm bulking.
Yeah, we're gonna embrace the bulk here.
Embrace the bulk. Eat the food.
That's right.
Yep.
What else you got, Hunter?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good with me.
Holiday food. Why do we always end up talking about food on this podcast?
Well, I think it's a major part of your fitness journey, but also because it's food, and that
it is food.
You love food.
So speaking of which, the new year is right around the corner.
Yep.
Don't forget, we have our confidence challenge.
That's right.
That has been released. The entry form is on the website. You can find the links on the Mecca Gym bio on Instagram, themeccagym.com. You can find it in my bio. If you go to my Instagram page, hit the link in my bio and it will say confidence challenge, confidence campaign. Go hit that, get entered. It's $100 entry and it is a $1,500 value prize for first place.
For first place, right.
$1,000 value for second and $500 for third.
Just incredible prizes.
Incredible prizes.
And so yeah, totally worth. And then when you enter, you get custom T-shirt with your name, custom shaker for all your drinks, sticker, and then most importantly, 3 months to our asset app.
3 months.
3 months the asset app. And so, I mean, then that will be working with the asset app, get you points, obviously, to win towards that $1,500 value prize. But anyway, yeah, totally worth all of it. The value is just insane right now. And so let's take advantage of that for sure.
Yeah, take advantage. You will not be disappointed.
That's right.
It's a great challenge. It's not just a weight loss challenge like all the others out there. This challenge will help you develop healthy habits, tracking your food, tracking your body weight, things like that.
Exactly.
Checking into the gym.
Yes.
Get points for all kinds of cool things.
Right. Develop those good habits. I mean, something we're creating lifelong habits, not just New Year's Eve goals.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep. So focusing on the right things.
Right.
Our goal is to focus your attention on the right things instead of most challenges that focus on, weight loss or inches lost on your waist. We're reinventing the wheel, and we have come up with a system that puts your attention on the process, that puts your attention on the important parts of developing healthy habits that are going to be lasting. So hit the links in the bios, get registered. It's $100 entry, and even just the value of what you're getting for entering is worth more than the $100.
Absolutely. Right.
The access to the app, the t-shirt, the shaker, the other Mecca paraphernalia, we'll call it,
right,
is worth more than $100 right there. So get in there, get entered, sign up, buckle your seatbelt, get ready to fly.
Absolutely. That just got me jazzed up. That's good.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
All right. Well, everybody, we hope you had the merriest of Christmases, and we hope you didn't just get a lump of coal in your stocking.
Crossing fingers.
We hope you spent a lot of time with your loved ones and had the merriest of seasons. So here's to a happy new year, and we will catch you guys next week.
Thank you for joining us on the Power of Lifting podcast. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. For more content like this, follow Eric Cafferty and the Mecca Gym on all social media platforms.